Hey everybody, welcome back to Building the Brand. If this is your first time here, my name is Seth Silvers, and on this channel we make videos teaching purpose-driven entrepreneurs how to grow their business online through storytelling. And if you've been following us, if you're not new here, you know that we've kind of done this series called Building the Brand, where every single week we have been talking about different challenges that we've been going through with Story On. And the thing about going every single week is that occasionally you have to hit pause and not go for a couple months and stuff. And that's kind of what's happened. So I wanted to make a quick video just kind of updating you with here's what's going on at Story On. At the time of this recording, it's early April in 2020, which means practically the whole country and the whole world is shut down because of coronavirus. So I wanted to give you an update on how is this affecting Story On and what you can expect moving forward. So to start off, we hit pause like a couple months ago with building the brand, and most of that was on me. Most of that was because honestly, I just kind of we got tired and we got busy, and these videos took a back burner. They kind of took to the side. And then something else started happening. We started realizing that finances were getting really, really, really tight. And so it was hard because, every time, even though we're making these videos, they're not huge budget, but we have a person on our team who does editing and different things like that. And so it was really, really hard to keep the production schedule up tight. And just with my schedule, I kind of let my schedule get the best of me to where I stopped prioritizing creating content for the audience. And here's something that happens when you start creating content. And I haven't talked to a creator that hasn't experienced this at some point. But at some point you get to the place where you are producing really good content and you're not getting the views, you're not getting the responses that you want or that you expect. And so you realize the quality of what you're putting out is up here, but the response and engagement is down here. And I think that that's what I've been wrestling with over the last couple months for YouTube. And then that's also what I've had to wrestle with in the last year for a podcast. I remember I took a several month break from the podcast, and I didn't mean for it to be a several month break. I meant for it to be a week or a couple weeks. And I would always just be okay, I'll get to the next episode next week and next week and next week. And then it was a couple months. And the same thing happened with Instagram. And it was because we had this amazing episode where I interviewed somebody who the interview changed me. It really was a powerful interview of somebody who they were in a house that burned down, and then they went through all of these the craziest life circumstances ever. They came out on the other side and they were the most joyful, kind, loving person ever. And so it was this amazing story that I got out, and it didn't do any better than the other episodes. And so I was really frustrated because even though I've trained people and taught people hey, don't expect to go viral, sometimes we have these pieces of content and these little messages, these story babies of ours that we put out in the world. And then it's really, really hard because you don't feel it gets the attention that it should. And so I think that I dealt with some of that with YouTube, to where at the end of 2019, it was man, this isn't taking off as much as I expected. This isn't gaining the traction. And so I didn't make a conscious decision to stop, but I was, my priorities, it lowered on my priority list to where it was okay, I'll get to it next week, get to it next week. It wasn't enough of a priority for this week, for right now, for today. And I think that's just something we all kind of have to learn when creating content. It's funny, I've walked clients through that process. I teach clients that. I actually think the word viral and viral videos is kind of poisoned our view of content. But for me at Story On, we had to realize we're gonna put content out, and the quality of us doing it is not always gonna match the expectations of how many people are consuming it. And so now we're coming back to this. And so this gets us to coronavirus update. What's going on at Story On? I got a call late February, it was mid to late February, of one of our larger clients. And the main thing we were helping them with was marketing a conference in the summer. And this conference, this coronavirus thing was beginning to kind of go crazy. So they postponed the conference or canceled the conference, and so then they canceled our contract. And that was kind of the first of a string of a couple of different clients that, initially realized that they need to hit pause on all marketing expenses. We're not going to talk about if you should market or advertise during your crisis, because that's a time for a different video. But what happened with us with this is it kind of just began this cycle of like really taking a gut check of what are we doing? Is everything that we're doing, is it like crisis proof as it could be? And by that, I just mean like, is it scalable? Is it consistent? Like, is it sustainable? Like, is the way that we're running our business sustainable? And we've talked about this on several of the other videos that we've done. But what I realized is that the direction that we've been going with launching Success with Stories, which we actually launched like end of February, so we launched right as all this started happening, was like absolutely the right move. And so I'm going to make another video talking about this specifically, but I think for us, this crisis, for me, in my heart, it's actually affirmed deeper that I should be doing what I'm doing. It's affirmed even deeper the need for businesses to have a connection with their audience based on stories, based on trust, based on really great content, so that if a crisis shuts your doors down overnight or gives it so that it's way harder for your customers to interact with you, you have an audience to rely on. You have a community to go to, and that community that you've been building trust with is going to support you. So this whole crisis, the last few months, I know we've been quiet, but we've been learning some huge things. I've been learning some huge things. And I'm coming out on the other side realizing like what we're doing now as far as teaching small businesses how to market online and teaching them how they can grow their business through storytelling and through like purpose-driven, authentic marketing is more important now than ever before. So I hope that through all of this, you're doing okay. I hope that, I know this is impacting everybody's business in some way, shape, or form. And so I hope that you're going to come out on the other side feeling better about why you're doing what you're doing rather than, having it be a question mark and stuff. So I hope this has been helpful. I just wanted to give a quick update. Not as quick as I thought it would be, but that's the nature of videos and content. So I wanted to give a quick update on what's going on at Storyon in this crazy time and why I've been missing for like 3 months and working through all of that. So you'll be seeing us more consistently. We'll see you next week on Building the Brand.